It's NAB 2024. We're on the Broadcast Bionics booth here in Central Hall, and I'm with Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Dan, we're looking at the VirtualRACK here, which we've spoken about before, but just give us a quick recap of what it does and who it's aimed at.
Yeah, so we introduced VirtualRACK last year, and a lot of vendors are providing their what was previously hardware as software in this form as Docker containers.
Yep.
And so customers were really struggling with the complexity of all the parameters that you need to get the hardware right, the operating system, the firmware, the BIOS. And what we wanted to do is to really simplify that process. So we don't really talk about containers or Docker. What we provide is a VirtualRACK appliance.
Right.
So we don't even really use the word server. It's just a broadcast piece of equipment. It's an appliance. You never see Linux. You never see a command line.
Right.
You simply plug it into your physical rack, power and network into the back. And then from there, we offer this really simple VirtualRACK interface into which you can plug broadcast equipment.
Very nice.
So it's the orchestration platform that gives you an application library of all these different functions that you can plug into that VirtualRACK. They're all tested by us and they're scaled by us. So we will tell you this is a VirtualRACK 16. So that means I have 16 rack units or virtual rack units of space. So I could plug in 16 small things or 4 large things.
Gotcha.
So it makes it easy to
So if you imagine like a physical rack, you've only got a certain amount of space, and the same with your VirtualRACK.
Yeah, so it takes the complexity of CPU pinning and core affinity and Mac VLANs and Linux, all that disappears. We just say what you really want is a virtual rack of broadcast equipment. You simply plug in these applications and each one then acts like it's the original appliance.
Cool. Okay. So new for NAB?
So new for NAB, we've got some features in our own software, but the main thing we're showing here now is that we have a lot of other vendors. So we have Telos in there, we have Sound 4, we have 2WCOM, we have Ferncast. So that means for the first time, we actually have the entire air chain. So here I've got a Sound 4 big voice. This is a voice processor. So that's the microphone coming into your system. That's doing your voice processing. All the way through here to this is the Telos Forza. And at the show, they're launching the Forza FM. So this is the final stage FM processor. So literally from your microphone in to a mic processor to an Altus, which is a software mixer. So now we've got a surface here where you can mix that together in software, to a codec bringing in outside sources, to a streaming processor, to the final FM processor. So rather than just being a virtual rack, just for some utility functions like codecs or a small amount of mixing, we can actually now offer the entire air chain for a radio station. So you could have a 2U box, which is your main or maybe your backup, entire workflow.
Wow. And are these updates available now?
Yes, absolutely. All of this is available from us.
And where can people find out more information?
We're just bionic.radio.
Dan, thank you very much indeed. Do check out bionic.radio for the VirtualRACK and everything else we've been talking to them about at the show. And for everything else we've been doing at NAB, that's at kitplus.com.